Oh, I'm underway now. I meant to give everybody an update from Perlucky and anything else that was pertinent. Which we had a couple of things that were pertinent. Heading on my way home. Obviously, the races haven't started yet. Don't want to spend too much time, but Perlucky raced exactly how Perlucky's supposed to. That's how a good horse is supposed to look, and man, oh man, is he ever a good horse. Very polite. I had told you guys we'd made a few little changes with him. A lot of times the changes are as much comfort for me as they are for the horse in how I can handle them. I was on pins and needles, as you can imagine. Horse made a break who never makes breaks. Coming out of the gate, I can tell you why he made a break and I can put it on myself, but how do you rectify that? Especially from the 7-hole in an open handicap at the Meadows. How do you fix that? Well, do exactly what I just did. Drive him the way I did. He wasn't long from the winner's circle there. For a horse that usually races on the front end and does his work on the front end, he certainly was a professional about racing from off the pace. Not very often you can move 3 wide in the last turn at the Meadows and pick horses off and win races. He was out a long way 3 wide in the open and 53 and a piece and narrowly beat. I dare say if we went another 3 pylons, I get there. But what a classy horse. Man, what a nice horse. I can tell you this. We got what we paid for with this guy. He is a true open trotter and a nice, classy horse to drive. He was very, very good tonight. I couldn't be happier than I could have. We had won. I could have been happier. But man, the way he went about his racing today was impressive. That is a big weight off my shoulders, especially coming off a break, and then you're like, man, I can't really leave with him. I didn't want to move him too early. I knew with the break of somebody on the inside that we were in good position to have a good race. It looked like Aaron was going to get me to where I wanted to go, and then I had to move him 3 deep. This horse that didn't corner real well before, and if you guys look closely, it was 2 big giant head poles on the inside of Perlucky today. He took it like a trooper, though, man. He's as I said, just a classy horse. Raced great. Now, a few little updates. I talked to Mario on the way here. Got the blood back for Renegade Gypsy. A lot of people saying, was he short? What happened with Renegade Gypsy? Really looked like he should have won. Of course he should have won. He got beat by, non-winners or whatever horses. It's not like he's a gold colt, but he shouldn't have got beat in there. And sure enough, his AST come back high. His horse had, was off a couple of weeks, shipped all the way down to London. Not really a big deal, but it was a big deal to him. His AST is CK, so we talk about these levels all the time. The AST moves slowly and is slower to move back down. The CK moves up and down quite quickly. His CK was 2,700, whereas his AST level was 1,000. So I suspect 1,200, 1,300 is where that AST CK will flatten out at, which is okay. It's not a high number. That CK of 2,700 is absolutely an indicator that he tied up last night. So a decent mile considering. I mean, there's somebody said, well, he's on the front end with him again. Guys, to be fair, he's 2 to 5 in a short field. I would have been upset if he wasn't up near the front. Imagine if he got locked in with him. How stupid he would have felt now. There's nothing makes you feel worse than that. Well, there's a few things, but that's definitely up there. So Mario drove the horse right. Horse tied up a little bit, no big deal. I thought he raced okay. He looked sound to me, so I suspect he'll come back. We'll be able to have that AST more than manageable for next Friday also. I guess that's the biggest concern. A number of people also clearly didn't see my earlier video about Grace. Why is she in so high? What's going on? Why wouldn't she be in the lower class? Well, guys, there is no lower class. I'm sorry, but from week to week, you just don't know. I guess with the grassroots and gold starting up this week, that the non-winners of 2 and 3 were light. 2 horses were entered in the non-winners of 3. One of them was Unbeatable Kemp. 6 horses were entered in the non-winners of 2. 2 of them were ours. Blue Bayou Dio and Grace. Non-winners of 2 and non-winners of 3 was not going to fill. And I'm appreciative of the fact that the race office called, because they knew what was at stake here, right? Grace has a gold next Monday. It's hard enough to race against a killer like a Derek Castle. It's really hard to do when you're coming in short, and she's coming in off, I assume, a lifetime mark. So I appreciate the fact that the race office called and said, would you rather qualify, which we could have done, or race in the numbers of 5? And ultimately, I left it up to James, and he got himself. I knew that he knew that he had other horses to drive in there. He said, you know what? Numbers of 5 isn't like it's a Shark Tank. She's gonna do well in there. Now she's got to race against Good Golly Miss Molly, and PL Opportunity. There's horses that have trotted 53, 54 before in the last week for PL Opportunity. Not that long ago for the other filly rattled off 5 wins in a row or something, maybe 6, I don't know, 7, I don't know. But have to get her raced, and just to go out and qualify her in 58, come 27-3, who cares? It's not the same as racing. So I knew I wanted to put her in the numbers of 5, but I left it up to James. I called James and said, "Here, here's the scoop. You know you have horses to drive in there. I assume, 1, what do you think? 2, will you be able to drive her? Knowing that you have horses in there." So James half-assed committed to driving her. I don't think he has the balls to buck off now. I don't think he would. Yeah, it's a tough class. But listen, guys, she's going into the Gold next week. You think it's any tougher in there or any easier in there? It's a Shark Tank. Numbers of 5 in that class on Monday night is a good start for Grace. Now, you guys can see who else is in there at Glare AM. This is really just a flat line. Can we get this filly back on track? Like, this isn't a filly struggling with lameness. This is a filly that tied up a couple of times. It's really been frustrating, but that's what you sign up for with a Glare AM. Regardless of what you think or what you want or what you like, what you need, she doesn't care what we need. This is a horse, and she's been a problem from time to time. She's had her streaks where you're like, wow, this filly's a killer. And then she'll come back with streaks where you're like, man, this filly sucks. Or mare now. We all know a Glare AM can fly, right? We all know that she's in a funk. She's coming off a spell where she tied up last week, right? We had to scratch her, right? She's coming off a horrendous run the last 4 weeks. Her AST is not going to be down by Monday. Her CK will, so she will be able to compete. I'll go with the Glare AM. I looked and we talked about how good Purple Aura trained today. Draws the 8-hole. This filly has drawn nothing but shitty posts from the start in 2022. I'm going to tell you one thing. Those of you who bet out there, next time she draws inside, you might want to have a strong look at her. This filly's sitting on a big mile, but, as I said to Jason, the only way for me to get there and get back, and it's impossible now with the 13th race. Thank you for that. Even if I could, the cost for me to fly down there and back, I can't. We know what we have to do with Purple Aura, whether we like it or not. I don't like it. You don't like it. Doesn't matter. Can't leave with her. Race her from off the pace and race her for 3/8 of a mile. That's what you're going to have to do. This filly's got a long summer in front of her. And don't kid yourself. For those of you that are saying, well, maybe she's not the same filly. I trained her today. I can guarantee you there's still a monster lurking in there. And she is getting very tight now. I come out in 58 with a bow in her neck and earplugs in her ears today. Purple Aura is sitting on a good mile. Unfortunately, again, handicap us with the 8-hole. So we had spoke to the race secretary at Northfield Park and spoke to us and said, listen, we're going to start writing also eligible Ohio sired 3-year-olds on the fillies and colts classes next week at Northfield. So there should be a spot for Slim Jimmy. There should be a spot for Sweet on Pete. There should be a spot for Purple Aura if we need there to be. So yes, it sucks. Skippy still fits a maiden. We can race her wherever. Purple Aura, that's not, that's tough. That's dirty pool again with the 8-hole, but that's what we have to deal with. So, that being said, we got a lot racing tonight. 5 going tonight. I'll pull over and watch them go one by one, same as you will if you're on the road. Good luck to everybody racing tonight. I will be watching very, very closely on my way back. It says I'm going to get back at 10 o'clock. I'm a little bit late. I stopped and got a bite to eat at Firebird's, one of my favorite restaurants. So it'll be a very nice drive home. I will talk to you all soon. Now, I said we're schooling tomorrow. I just looked radar. It looks like Noah is coming to town. Looks like 5 liters of water is going to fall tonight or tomorrow throughout the morning. So if the radar's wrong, we're schooling. If the radar's right and it's a torrential downpour, we obviously are not going to be going behind the gate with babies in a torrential downpour. It's just not necessary. I'd like to, but it's not necessary. Maybe they'll be kind and let us push it over till Monday. That would be nice. Anyway, we'll talk to you all very soon. Hope you're still having a good day. Take care.